I'm Carolyn Watson, and I'm music director of the Porte County Symphony Orchestra. I certainly knew that I wanted to be a musician, and I wanted to be a violinist and violin teacher, which was in fact my first career, so I did that for a number of years. Before somehow conducting found me, it was only just a hobby, and I found myself on the podium more and more doing a lot of work, and I thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to learn a little bit more about that? And brought me to the United States, actually, to the American Academy of Conducting at the Aspen Music Festival and School, and that for me was very much the beginning in very many ways, because it opened my eyes to the possibilities of a career as a conductor, which I hadn't up until that time really contemplated. I think because I very much enjoyed being a violinist, and with the teaching work that I was doing, felt a little bit like the writing was on the wall, the universe was kind of trying to tell me something, so I was like, you know, maybe I should sort of look into this hobby of mine a little bit more. So here we are. The first stage for any conductor is to select the program. So after that's happened, that happens quite a bit in advance, often 12 months. And then the next thing is to study and prepare the scores, depending on the complexity of the music, the length of the piece, the number of instruments. That process can vary in the amount of time that it takes. Looking at a score, figuring out what's happening musically, the structure of the piece, what connects to what. You know, you're looking through all of the instruments, figuring out what their role is at any given time, whether it's a principal role, have they've got the melody, and or like whether they're part of the accompaniment. Putting all of the pieces of that jigsaw puzzle together, that's what happens in rehearsals. So that's, for me, the most exciting part is the first rehearsal. It's also the most nerve-wracking, right? Because you don't quite know what's going to happen. They look at their parts, they possibly listen to some recordings and figure out, you know, what needs to happen, what fingerings they do, what bowings, and then we all come together at the first rehearsal and then try and put that all together. And usually that process is really about me leading and shaping and helping them understand, you know, how their part, what they've been working on at home by themselves, how that fits into the whole, you know, because yeah, we've got some 70, 80 people on stage. But that's something that, you know, musicians I think are very used to doing. It's like we just have to be at our best tonight, and we will be at our best tonight because we've got an audience to play for. We've got our community to play for. I'm listening for everything. I'm listening for absolutely every instrument that's playing at any one particular time, and I'm synthesizing and processing in nanoseconds, obviously, because things happen in real time. Can I hear the articulation? If I can't hear the articulation as clearly as I would like, I'm going to show them with my hands. Just remind them this is what I'd like. I'm listening to see whether the melody is coming out from the woodwind section. If it's not, I'm going to show the strings. I'm going to remind them perhaps to play a little down so that we can hear that solo clarinet. I'm listening to make sure that the brass and the percussion, when they come in, that they're not overpowering. For me, again, I think it's the most special thing, it's the blend, right? It's having all of those instruments together. And, you know, there's a drama there. There's an intensity that I feel you only get from live symphonic music. My role as a conductor, it's very much a facilitator, I think, and what I'm trying to do a lot of things simultaneously. That's very much the job, and I'm trying to help the musicians, and depending on where they are and where we are in the process, and also the group that I'm working with, that help could look a little bit different. So at the very initial stages, I'm offering reassurance, you know, as musicians are about to enter and they're about to play. I give them a nodding look or a cue with my hands to say, yes, you're in the right place, please play now. I also try to help show, is this a loud entry, is it a soft entry, what kind of sound should we be having, what kind of articulation should we be playing, long or short. So all of those sorts of things, that's what I'm showing with my hands. I'm reminding them of some things. Sometimes I try to get a little bit ahead of the game and give them a sort of, you know, preemptive, like don't even think about doing that there kind of thing. If we have to change tempo, that's a very big part of my role, so I set the tempo because we've got to get everyone to do that at the same rate. So that's also what I'm doing up there. I enjoy being able to bring music to our community and any community, and particularly when you get someone who's just like, wow, I never heard that piece before, that's amazing, or I didn't know that, or that was fantastic, I had no idea how moved I would be. That's a very special and very rewarding part of the job.